Welcome to EPG Pathshala. This module is on environmental, chemical and physical equilibria. It must be explained or pointed out at the very outset that in environmental chemistry there are several chemical reactions and physical processes, and many of them are equilibrium reactions. Therefore, basic understanding of chemical equilibria, equilibrium constant, and their theories and their presentation is necessary. So, this module aims at that. Now, the first thing that is very important is stoichiometry. What is stoichiometry? The stoichiometry of a chemical reaction indicates the relative number of moles and relative masses of reactants and products in a balanced chemical equation. For example, in this reaction, N2 plus O2 to form 2NO. This is very important reaction. This occurs in combustion or high temperature processes. Nitrogen O2 combined to form NO, and the number of N2 moles is 1. Reacts with 1 mole of O2 to form 2 mole of NO. So, stoichiometry will be written as 1:1:2. It can also be said 1 mole equal to 20 gram N2, 1 mole O2 equal to 32 gram O2, and NO is 30 gram. So, 2 NO is 60 gram. That means 28 gram N2 will react with 32 gram O2 to produce 60 gram NO. So, from stoichiometry, this you can also explain in terms of the masses. Now, very important reaction is combustion of hydrocarbons in automobiles. Automobiles are an integral part of our life. For example, we consider the petrol driven cars or other vehicles. Assuming that this is the hydrocarbon, this is the average hydrocarbon, the formula is this, then when the combustion will take place, this is oxidized, the energy is released which is used for driving the vehicle, and this is the reaction. The air-fuel ratio, mass of air versus mass of fuel, is the most common reference term used for mixtures in internal combustion engines. The air-fuel is the ratio between masses of the air and mass of the fuel in fuel ratio mixtures in any given moment. The mass used is the mass of all combustion. Remember, what is the mass of fuel that you know, the petrol? Air, mass of air means not only oxygen but nitrogen, CO2 and all other gases which are present in their mass. The ratio of fuel and the ratio of all constituents of the air. For example, in calculating the mass of the natural gas, which often contains carbon dioxide, nitrogen as well as various alkanes, the masses of carbon dioxide and nitrogen are also included in addition to those of all alkanes to determine the value of mass fuel. In the stoichiometric ratio of air and fuel, air and pure octane air-fuel ratio is 14.7:1. Remember, this is the standard. That is, if a air-fuel ratio in an automobile is 14.7, that is 14.7 is air and fuel is 1 volume, 14.7 volume is air, 1 volume is fuel, then complete combustion will take place. No carbon monoxide will be formed. All the carbon will be converted to CO2 and petrol will be converted to CO2 and water. If the ratio is less than this, it is 12:1. It means there is less air. When air is less, then what will happen? The complete combustion of carbon will not take place and CO will be released. That is the reason for pollution. Now, an example, H2 and O2 react to produce this. How many moles of H2 would be needed to react completely with 0.5 mole of O2? You can calculate like this. According to this balanced equation, how many grams of iron will react with 2.0 mole of water? We know the reaction. 3 iron, 4 water. 3 mole of iron, 4 mole of water. How much it reacts? 2 mole of water, X mole of iron. You can calculate how many moles of X will react. Iron will react. That is the answer. This one. Limiting reagent, it is an important concept. The amount of the product which may be obtained from a chemical reaction is determined by the amount of the reactant present in deficit, that is less than the stoichiometric ratio. This reaction, 2H2 reacts, 2 moles of O2, H2 reacts with 1 mole of O2 to form H2O. Okay? If we take 2.02 gram mole of hydrogen and 32 gram mole of O2, then we can calculate this. Now I explain a very important concept which is involved in eutrophication, this limiting region concept. It is known that in lakes there is a lot of algal boom. Water hyacinths, they develop and the whole of the lake is covered, and ultimately the lake is destroyed. What happens? That depends upon nitrogen and phosphorus. The ratio of nitrogen and oxygen must be 8:1. If there is less nitrogen than the phosphorus, the ratio is 6:1, then nitrogen will be the limiting reagent. And if nitrogen is more, phosphorus is less, then phosphorus will be the limiting reagent. So this is a very important concept. What is equilibrium? All physical and chemical processes have a natural tendency to reach the state of maximum stability, which is also called the state of equilibrium. That is a natural tendency. They want to rest. The things want to rest. And once the equilibrium has been attained under specified conditions, the system loses the tendency for any further change. What does it mean? Look here. This reaction N2 plus 3H2 twice NH3. These are the rate constant, forward rate constant and the backward rate constant. The ratio of these two is called equilibrium constant. If you mix known amount of N2, known amount of H2 and allow to react in a closed vessel, they will react for ammonia, and after a certain time the reaction will stop. It will reach equilibrium. Neither the concentration of reactants will change nor the concentration of ammonia will change, and the reaction will said to have reached the steady state. Now what happens? In the chemical equilibrium, the reaction has not ceased to occur. The reaction is still occurring, but the rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of the backward reaction. So despite the reaction occurring in both directions, the concentration of the reactants and products do not change. This is called dynamic equilibrium. Equilibrium reactions do not go to the completion. Mostly it is true. For example, this reaction N2 plus thrice H2 twice NH3. If you mix them and you expect that after some time there will be no hydrogen, if they are taken a stoichiometry ratio, there will be no hydrogen, there will be no H2, there will be only NH3. This doesn't happen, but in some of the reactions this may happen, but most of the reactions this will not happen. They do not go to completion. At equilibrium, the rate of this I have already explained. Despite the establishment of equilibrium, the reaction in both directions will occur. Already explained. What is equilibrium constant? Now consider a general reaction. AA plus BB K1 upon K2 1L, LL, MM plus other. The equilibrium constant by definition is given by K equal to the product of the concentration of the products raised to the power of their number of moles reacting. For example, L to the power L, M to the power M and other thing, divided by A to the power A, B to the power B and other. So this is the standard formula which must be remembered for writing equilibrium for expression constant, and L, M, A and B are the concentrations in mole. Now I may also point out I have used here activities. Actually in real things it is activities, but if the solutions are dilute, then activities can be taken as concentrations. So in general chemistry or environmental chemistry, no harm is done if instead of activities you use the term concentration. This is the expression. Now, the concentrations can be expressed in several ways. It can be expressed in terms of concentration mole per liter, okay, no problem. It can be also expressed in pressure. But we remember that pressure equal to N upon BRT. Pressure equal to N upon Vc, P equal to CRT. So pressure is proportional to concentration. So you will get a value of K, but the numerical value will be different. So if the concentration unit is C, then this is the expression C. And if the concentration unit is partial pressure, then this is the unit. Remember, the units will be different in two cases. This is known as concentration equilibrium constant, and this is known as pressure equilibrium constant. And this is the relation between Kp and Kc. Kp equal to Kc RT to the power delta N, where delta N is the difference in the number of product molecules minus the number of reactant molecules. Significance of equilibrium constant. Values of K are indicator of the fact how far the reaction will proceed in any direction. Okay, if the K value is low, 10 minus 5, it means the reaction will occur in the forward to a small extent. Most of it will remain as a reactant. Only a small concentration of the reactant will convert into products. For example, this ammonium hydroxide. This is at equilibrium, but its equilibrium constant is small. So dissociation is small to a very small extent. So most of will be undissociated in H4OH. Only small portion will be ammonium ion and OH ion. If the K has a large value, if the value of K is large, then dissociation may be complete. For example, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, they are very strong acids. HNO3 completely dissociates, almost completely, 100%. So whole of HNO3 will be converted to hydrogen ion and nitrate ion. There will be hardly any equilibrium. If the value is K is very high, in such a case the reaction would be virtually complete and hardly any reactant would be left. Such reactions are called irreversible reactions. For example, for the well-known atmospheric reaction of methane, the value of K is this, 10 to the power 1/40, very high, 1 and so many zeros. The reaction will be irreversible, this reaction. This is the combustion reaction. Remember, this reaction occurs in the natural gas. In CNG, CNG 85% methane. So when combustion takes place, this reaction takes place. So whole of methane is is oxidized CO2 and water. Now equilibrium can be of two types. If physical state of reactants and products is same, they are in the same phase, either both are in the gas phase or both are in the liquid phase or both solid phase, then it is a homogeneous chemical equilibrium. For example, this NO gas, O2 gas, and the product is also gas. Okay? So this is the example of homogeneous reaction. And these are the values of Kp, P NO2 square divided by PO2 and P NO square. Here is Kc, concentration. So C NO2 means concentration mole per liter square, CO2 upon C NO2 square. Now an example, at this temperature, the value of Kc for the reaction is this. If one starts with this much of NO2 in a closed vessel, how much N2O4 would be formed? This is the reaction. Twice NO2, N2O4. Okay? Starting concentration is this. Remember, in the beginning, at time equal to 0, when the reaction has just started, no reaction has occurred, 100% of this present, this has not been formed, so this is 0. Heterogeneous chemical equilibrium. When the reactants and products are different phases. For example, this is the decomposition of calcium carbonate on heating. This is solid and this is gas. So there are two states, solid and gas. So it is a heterogeneous equilibrium. Now Kp for this is given by this. Kp equal to this activity of this into activity of this divided by activity of this. If instead of activity we write partial pressure of this and partial pressure of this divided by partial pressure of this, then by convention the partial pressures of solids are assumed to be constant. So PCAO will be constant, PCO3 will have some constant value. So these can be ignored, or you can assume they are involved in this. So Kp is written only PCO2. That's why. This is important point to remember. Pure solids and pure liquids, these activities are taken as constant. Equilibrium constant and free energy is another important concept. Consider a general reaction AA plus BB 1 LL plus MM. The change in free energy given by this. The sum of the free energies of the products, this, minus the sum of the free energies of the how do you write? Individual free energy of A into A, individual free energy of B into B, and these two positive. Remember, products are positive. Always in thermodynamics, reactants are written as the difference is this. This is G is also written as G0, RT, Ln, PS. This is a relation between free energy and partial pressure. This is standard free energy. So we can write in place of this GR equal to this G0 RT. This is for we can write for all of them, and ultimately we get this equation. At equilibrium, this Kp equal to P, this, hence you can write this. So this is a equation, important equation. And another important equation is standard free energy. This standard free energy equal to minus delta G is equal to RT and K. This is used for calculating of the equilibrium constant if delta G 0 is known or otherwise. If K is known, you can calculate the standard free energy change of a reaction. This is the example. Magnitude of delta G 0 is the indicator of the magnitude of K. If delta G 0 is less than 0, then K is greater than 1. If delta G 0 is 0, greater than 0, then K is less than 1. If at 25 degree, delta G 0 is minus 100 K 0, then remember, why this one is there? Here is minus sign. That is the reason, minus sign. Okay? So, we substitute these values here and we can calculate this. Very low. Reactions for which delta G has a positive value are endothermic. They heat, absorb the heat. The value of K increases on increasing temperature, this reaction. This is very important thing. Now, this is a very important reaction. Whenever this reaction, N2 plus O2 twice NO, is a very simple reaction. Remember, in atmosphere, both are present. N2 is about 78%, O2 is about 21%, high concentrations. And this is a toxic material, and this is a pollutant, serious pollutant. But at room temperature, these do not react. Or you can say their reaction is so small that virtually you can ignore it. But this is exothermic reaction. It is heat reflux. That is, if you heat it, this reaction will move to right hand sides. More of NO will be formed. This is actually what happens whenever any combustion reaction takes place. Whenever high temperature process takes place, that is the reason for formation of this pollutant. In automobiles, the temperature is maybe 2000 or 1600 degrees centigrade inside the engine. At that temperature, this reaction becomes very fast. In kitchen, when food is cooked, the temperature could be 600 degrees. And at that temperature, these combine to form NO. So, the formation of this reaction occurs incidentally, not intentionally. And the reason is endothermic nature of this reaction. So, Le Chatelier's principle. This is an important principle. This explains how their reaction will change if the parameters, concentration, pressure, volume, temperature are changed one by one. Consider two reactions. This is an example. Now, this reaction has a delta H is negative. This is delta H positive. That is, when the reaction occurs, the heat is released. That is, heat comes out. Okay? If you increase the temperature of this reaction, the natural tendency of this reaction will be to consume heat. And how it will consume heat? If it goes this direction, reverse direction. This reaction, twice NO2 and N2O4. This reaction is exothermic. This as heat takes. So if you heat it, the reaction will move in that direction. Where heat is taken, that is in the forward direction. Effect of concentration change. If the concentration of the reactant is increased, what will happen? It will try to consume the reactant. Therefore, more of the products will be formed. If the product is added, then the reaction will have a tendency to consume the product. How it can consume the product? It can consume the product if the reaction moves in the backward direction. So this is how can I explain this. Similarly, the change in pressure and volume can be explained. Now in this, the environmental, chemical and physical equilibrium module, I have tried to explain what is stoichiometric reaction, what is its importance, and mainly also what is the limiting reagent, how it will affect concentration of one product. One reactant will explain how the reaction will proceed, what is equilibrium constant, how it is dependent upon the free energy of the reaction, what is the standard free energy, and the relationship between standard free energy and the equilibrium constant, how these can be calculated from each other, what is a heterogeneous reaction, what is a homogeneous reaction, Le Chatelier's principle, how the temperature, pressure and concentration affects the equilibrium, how the change in concentration will take place. It is also explained that chemical equilibrium is a dynamic equilibrium. Thank you.